February 1st, 2026 on Bani's birthday. Yuvin once again charms her with a thoughtful and meaningful present, making her feel valued and special. His gesture surprises Bani and reflects the growing emotional bond between them. During the celebration, Bani stuns everyone at the party by appearing in a completely new look, leaving the guests impressed and creating a buzz around her transformation. February 2nd, 2026 Yuvin's world shatters when he learns the horrifying truth that Manini is not his real mother. The shock intensifies when she heartlessly abandons him among furious dogs, exposing her cruelty. Overwhelmed by betrayal, fear, and emotional trauma, Yuvin loses consciousness, unable to process the devastating revelation. February 3rd, 2026 Manini approaches Yuvin again and manipulates him emotionally, attempting to convince him that she is his bandana ma and has always cared for him. Though shaken, Yuvin reacts cautiously as confusion clouds his judgment. Meanwhile, Manini threatens to throw Bani out of the house, making her intentions clear and creating fear and tension within the household. February 4th, 2026 Understanding the danger of exposing Manini immediately, Bani decides to play along with her evil charade. She allows Yuvin to believe that Manini is truly his mother, prioritizing his fragile emotional state. Secretly, however, Bani begins planning for Yuvin's future, determined to protect him and guide him toward a better life. February 5th, 2026 Yuvin is left stunned when the head of the school unexpectedly offers him a position as a music teacher, recognizing his talent. The offer overwhelms him and gives him a glimpse of hope. Meanwhile, Bani deliberately keeps Viraj distracted, ensuring he does not interfere with Yuvin's growing opportunities. February 6th, 2026 During a stage performance, Bani struggles to sing due to nervousness and pressure, while Yuvin confidently continues performing and energizes the audience. His performance wins loud applause and admiration. Impressed by his talent, the reality show hosts approach Yuvin and urge him to participate in their upcoming competition. February 7th, 2026 Although Bani is determined to send Yuvin to the competition, he refuses, fearing failure and rejection. Bani encourages him relentlessly, trying to boost his confidence. At the same time, Manini decides to take Yuvin to her office, deliberately keeping him away from Bani and attempting to regain control over his life. February 8th, 2026 Bani proves to Yuvin that he truly possesses extraordinary musical talent and reassures him of his potential. Her faith gradually strengthens his confidence. However, as she takes him for the audition, they face unexpected roadblocks that threaten to derail their plans and test Bani's determination. February 9th, 2026 When Agastya blocks the road and causes a delay, Bani confronts him fearlessly, refusing to back down. Later, Bani is left completely shocked when she discovers that the same Agastya is the judge for Yuvin's audition, realizing that the situation is far more complicated than expected. February 10th, 2026 During the audition, Agastya humiliates Yuvin by asking demeaning and intimidating questions, which shatters his confidence and leads to his failure. Unable to tolerate the injustice, Bani takes a strong stand for Yuvin and openly challenges Agastya when he rejects him. February 11th, 2026 Bani demands that Agastya give Yuvin another chance, firmly arguing for fairness. Instead, Agastya becomes furious and throws a harsh challenge at them. Meanwhile, Manini realizes that Bani has cleverly fooled her and begins plotting her next move against her. February 12th, 2026 Manini tries to discourage Yuvin from pursuing his passion for music, filling his mind with fear and doubt. Determined not to give up, Bani and Yuvin attempt to sneak out of the house to continue preparing. However, they are stopped when they see Viraj guarding all the exits. February 13, 2026. Agastya is genuinely impressed by Yuvin's singing talent and briefly acknowledges his potential. However, he suddenly changes his stance and publicly misbehaves with Yuvin in front of the crowd, leaving Yuvin humiliated and emotionally shaken. February 14, 2026. A group of protesters demanding Yuvin's participation in the competition surrounds Agastya, putting him under pressure. In response, Agastya reveals a shocking reason why Yuvin, according to him, can never become a rock star, leaving everyone stunned. February 15, 2026. Yuvin requests Bani to help him make Agastya the judge once again, believing it will give him closure. Together, they apologize to Agastya despite their humiliation. However, Agastya secretly decides to take revenge on them for challenging his authority. February 15, 2026. Yuvin requests Bani to help him make Agastya the judge once again, believing it will give him closure. Together, they apologize to Agastya despite their humiliation. However, Agastya secretly decides to take revenge on them for challenging his authority. February 16, 2026. Agastya assures Bani that he will guide Yuvin through the various tasks of the competition, pretending to support him. Meanwhile, Yuvin insists that Bani participate in shooting the promotional video with him, expressing his emotional dependence on her presence. February 17, 2026. To deliberately trouble Yuvin, Agastya hides his medicines before the first round of the competition. At the same time, Viraj carries out Manini's plan to harm Yuvin, pushing him into further physical and emotional danger. February 18, 2026. After Yuvin gets injured, the family urges him to rest and withdraw from the competition. However, Bani has other plans. She seeks Agastya's help and secretly takes Yuvin to her old house, where she arranges a safe space for intense practice. February 19, 2026. To assist Bani and Yuvin, Agastya advises Yuvin to use Bani's shoulder as support while playing the violin, helping him perform better. At the same time, Agastya secretly changes Yuvin's medication, intentionally causing him to suffer. February 20, 2026. Manini meets Agastya and requests that he prevent Yuvin from participating in the program. Before the show begins, Yuvin starts feeling extremely unwell, but chooses not to inform Bani, determined to perform despite his condition. February 21, 2026. Yuvin and Bani perform together on stage and captivate the audience with their chemistry and talent. Their performance earns them a special advantage in the competition. In an unexpected move, Yuvin then requests the audience to give Agastya another chance, shocking everyone. February 22, 2026. Witnessing Yuvin and Bani's sacrifice, Agastya finally realizes that his actions toward Yuvin were wrong. While Bani grows confused by Yuvin's unusual behavior, Agastya approaches her and sincerely apologizes for his past conduct. February 23, 2026. Bani meets Yuvin's doctor and notices the difference in Yuvin's behavior since he stopped taking his medicine. Alarm bells ring in her mind. Later, Agastya invites both Bani and Yuvin to a party, adding to her confusion and concern. February 24, 2026. At the party, Bani gets into a heated argument with Agastya's guests when they pressure her and Agastya to kiss. Meanwhile, Manini attempts to instigate Yuvin against Bani and Agastya, poisoning his mind with false narratives. February 25, 2026. Bani becomes increasingly doubtful about Yuvin's medication after observing drastic changes in his behavior. At the same time, Viraj deliberately misleads Yuvan by suggesting that Bani and Agastya share a romantic relationship. February 26, 2026. Viraj further instigates Yuvan, convincing him that Bani is inclined toward Agastya. Acting on his distorted belief, Yuvan forcefully feeds Bani rice pudding, convinced that it will make her pregnant, leaving Bani terrified and shocked. February 27, 2026. Bani is left aghast when Yuvan goes on stage and publicly declares that they are expecting a child. The crowd erupts in cheers, celebrating the announcement. Internally shaken, Bani struggles to understand why Yuvan believed such a thing. February 28, 2026. Bani becomes furious when Manini humiliates her over Yuvan's shocking onstage declaration. The situation worsens when Manini meets Yuvan privately and turns him completely against Bani, setting the stage for deeper conflict ahead.